everyone, and welcome to another review! So today we are making a review about Code Realize Wintertide Miracles. This is the second fan disc of Code Realize Guardians of Rebirth. It has a lot of elements of like holiday, like Christmas and gift giving and friends gatherings and things like that. Now, as you already know, we have 5 elements that we are gonna kind of analyze or kind of give a grade on. So there is, for the main story, the character story, the graphics, the mechanics, and the translation. And all of these will be out of 10, and at the end, I will compile them to give a grand total. If it is over 5, it's worth buying. In my personal opinion, it's worth buying. So now I'm going to answer a couple of questions that I often get asked whenever I speak about otome games in general. The first question, did I fall for a character? Of course I did! Of course! Since day one, since Code Realize Guardians of Rebirth, Code Realize Future Blessings, and now Code Realize Wintertide Miracle, Impy is my baby. I'm so embarrassed saying that, but it is the truth, and I have to admit it. The second question is there any merch? So kind of like Code Realize Future Blessings, if you look up Future Blessings, not a lot of things pop up. So kind of similar to this, if you write the entire name Code Realize Wintertide Miracles, not that much merch. But if you just put Code Realize, plenty. Oh, plenty. As for the platforms, so this game is only on 2 platforms. It is on the PS Vita and it is on the Switch. In the previous video of the review for Future Blessings, I made a small mistake, but you see editor me correcting that mistake. Wintertide Miracles is not part of Bouquet of Rainbows for the PlayStation 4. It is a separate entity. Now let's talk a little bit about what's Wintertide Miracles. So the 3rd chapter of the series is the second fan disc. In this game, you can also experience 2-on-1 date called Triangle Dates, and bring comedy to dates and see their interactions between 2 characters that you like a lot. It also continues Herlock Sholmes and Finis' stories from the second fan disc. You also get another side story following Cantarera, a character previously met by Cardia, and her intense story. So now, we're gonna go a little bit into story elements, things I liked, things I did not like, things that were fun. So what I liked about the main storyline of this fan disc, Cantarella's story, it's so sad! It's so pretty and cute and sad, and I love it. I don't know why, it makes me sad, but I love it anyway. On the Switch version only, there's beach stories that are quite fun if I do say so myself. I have the PS Vita version myself, but I have seen some gameplay like on Twitch or on YouTube, and it's quite fun. The Switch version might be a little bit more worth it if it had more than just the beach episodes, but I did like the beach episodes. The Xmas stories, the Christmas stories, they're so cute and endearing and gift-giving and fluster and ooh, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for love. I love love. What do you want me to say? Spoiler alert, skip like 5 seconds ahead. Weddings. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I love it! I love it, I love it, I love it. And now there's also family moments. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's in the 3rd fan disc that there's relations with Victor's family. Now, for the things that I did not like, as much as I loved Cantarera's story, there is so much angst and sadness. For a game that's supposed to be a fan disc, this side story is a big ol' downer. The character designs are amazing, but holy crap, the story's a big downer until the very, very end where they try to bring it up. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Finis' jealousy and possessiveness, because in this fan disc we explore a little bit more the interactions between the love interest and Cardia, the main character, because now Cardia is closer to Finis. Finis reacts a little like protective and like, that's my sister, go away, like she's all mine, like I finally have a family member, like she's all mine. Bleh. It's kind of weird. I don't like it. I don't like it. Some people may. I don't like it. The same complaint I have about the first fan disc. Watson is not romanceable. Please. I love him. I love him so much, please. Also, no Hansel romance, once again. which makes me big sad, because both of their character design, like, Watson's character design is not as good as the love interest, but his personality is a masterpiece, hence why I want to romance him. As for Hansel, his character design is so beautiful, and his personality, where he doesn't know, like, physical boundaries, we're missing something. We're missing something, I'm just saying. So for the main storyline, all of these elements taken into account, it's a 6 out of 10. They're really cute, sweet side stories filled with fluff, not that much angst, but because of Phineas's part, and because of some characters that are not romanceable, and because of the main side stories of Cantarella, it's a 6 out of 10 for me. Now, for the graphics, I said it in Future Blessings. In Future Blessings, they went up a notch. In Wintertide Miracles, another notch. So if I could give a 15 out of 10, I would. So it's a 10 out of 10 for the graphics. They are beautiful. They are beautiful. For the translation, it's pretty bad. Translation, I still gave it a 5 out of 10, because you can still read it, it's still passable, but there's so many typos, there's so many mistakes, there's so many periods and commas and double spaces that are not meant to be there. But it's still readable. It's readable. And that's what matters, right? Right? As for the mechanics, again, like Future Blessings, choices don't really matter. You can make choices, but they don't really influence the main story. So you kind of have some, interaction, but it doesn't really mean anything, which is kind of sad. But also, there's no romance tracker because your choices don't influence anything. Besides that, how to fast forward, rewind, rehear the voice, all of that, pretty good. You know how to deal with it. You know how to play the game, which is really good. So for the mechanics, I give it a 7 out of 10. I wish there were more. I wish you could make choices that would, I know it's a fandisk, so you don't really have, bad endings, good endings, perfect endings, and stuff like that, but it would have been fun to have, normal relationship versus extremely sweet relationship, if that makes sense. Now, for the character side stories, not only is there a side story for all 7 love interests / brother, I hate putting him in the same category, but there's 7 character stories, but on top of that, there's special epilogues. And there's the triangle dates! I forgot about triangle dates. The triangle dates are magnificent. If you want to see cute interactions, cute, little fights here and there, it is so cute, you guys. If the game was just the triangle dates, I would say it's worth it. Because it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. But to go into precisiveness, because Annie, you need to focus, character story-wise, for Phineas's side story, if we want to put it that way, he's a cinnamon roll. I know I said he was a shithead, but now he's a cinnamon roll. He is very sweet. He, helps figure out the aftermath of his father's plan with Cardia, and he does his best to make up for his past mistakes, and he kind of, reintroduces himself to the other love interests, to the other characters that were introduced in the Future Blessings first fandisk. And besides him being a jealous piece of it's a really cute story. It's honestly a really cute story. Now for Herlock Sholmes, I can't get over the part that Sholmes has an accent. Sholmes. I'm not pronouncing it like that. If you expect me to pronounce it like that, I am not pronouncing it like that. I like that there's a lot of comic relief with Herlock Sholmes because his main story in Future Blessings was so heavy, competitive with Moriarty. It was so intense that I love that his side story, there's a lot of comic relief between him and Lupin, and him and Watson. It makes everything so much better. He's still trying to find a cure to the poison of the main protagonist. As we saw in Future Blessings, all the other side stories for the love interest was about finding a cure. It is the case now for Herlock, who's having his first side story. We meet Nemo. We've met him before, but we see more of him, and it's really funny. I think we also see him in Impy's second side story. I'll talk more about it later. But we see more Nemo, and Nemo is funny. I don't like his character design. I hate it. But his personality is so funny that it makes me laugh, even though I hate looking at him. And also, Herlock Sholmes, like I said, His story's a little less intense, but there's still a lot of life-threatening elements. There is a lot of fluff, but nothing more. They still play off the clumsy genius detective trope, which means that their romance doesn't get past fluff and a bit of angst. I wish there was more. Like, if there was a third fandisk, probably they could have explored it, but I know we're staying at the second fandisk. Now, I didn't mention that in Future Blessings, but in all the side stories for Wintertide Miracles, and I think most of the stories for Future Blessings as well, Finis, big spoiler, skip 5 seconds, is alive. Big spoiler, skip 10 seconds. Sorry, skip 10 seconds. Usually he there's an option where he could be dead. Okay, now that being said. So in Victor Frankenstein's side story in Wintertide Miracles, he has its own like little doctor's clinic that he has like in the poor parts of the city, and it's very sweet, and it's like he has a golden heart. What do you want me to say? And then you get a little bit of a side story where his parents are like, oh, you need to settle down, like you have a good job now, but you need to find love, settle down, have some kids, get married, blah blah blah. Get married before having kids, because you know, it's still 19th century. It's very fluff and sweet, and Victor is squishy. Like, when you see him, he's squishy, and then you get to know him, and it's more squishy. Squishy. So, it goes from, like, a status of seeing each other, it's not really official, to it's official, and it's very freaking cute. I like his rap quite a bit. I like his side story a lot. This fandisk made me question if my favorite was not Victor. But then I saw Impey's story, and clearly Impey's my favorite. But I had a little hesitation. In Saint-Germain's side story in this fandisk, we get more characters from the group Idea, which he was part of, that comes to, like, talk to him and, like, update him and be like, hey, you've worked hard for a long time. You can go on a vacation. And it's like, I've never been on a vacation. That's me. So it's his first vacation, and he doesn't know what to do. He's bored, lonely, he's like, how am I supposed to live this? And like, Cardia lives with Finis at this point. She doesn't live with Saint-Germain anymore. So he's like, oh, let me do a Christmas party. I'll invite everyone over. I'll have all my friends. It will be great. And it's kind of sad, and it's a bit of bittersweet, but it's very, like, it ends fluff, which is what I expect of Saint-Germain, because he has so much intensity to his stories. This side story did not surprise me. It did not surprise me. For Van Helsing, there's more Delacroix content. What can you say? Deli's a vampire. He's an old vampire hunter, no longer. It kind of goes together. Deli's gonna be part of it. So they're out to search for remaining vampires to rebuild the community of vampires. And he hears about a Christmas party that's done at Saint-Germain's house, and he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna stop to see if Cardio needs a ride, and like I can drive, like we can go to Saint-Germain's together, and they end up spending a little more time. And Finis's and Van Helsing's interaction, and Finis's and Delacroix's interactions are so good. They're so good. Just talking about it, I'm all like fluffiness in my heart. It's really good. You have like a little bit of cozy cottage romance, and I'm a big cottagecore person, so it's really cute. For Impey Barbicane's side story or character story, it's a little more deeper into like his moon dream, reaching for the moon, going to the moon, and we go into his exploration of like what didn't work with his moon gravity alleviator, and he goes to see Nemo in jail. Again, hilarity ensues, and it's really good. And he's like kind of overworked about like trying to find a way to get to the moon, and then Christmas rolls around, and he's kind of like not sure. Does he keep working? Does he go for the Christmas party? Like, he's not sure. And then he realizes by the help of the other love interests, like, are Cardia and him a thing? Are they in love? How does it work? Like, they've never really said it. Well, they've said it, but like, are they official? Like, it's cute. It's cute. You get a little bit more of the cute Finis brother. Like, in this particular character story, Finis is right, like straight up says like, I don't accept you as Cardio's partner, and like, meh, 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 and then he warms up, and it's really cute, because MP, that's what he does. He warms you up. You think, oh my god, he's weird, and then he warms you up. I love him. There's a lot of blushes, including from the player. I blushed so much during this side story. Not just because I have an interest for Impy, but the delivery. Like, objectively, the delivery was one of the best out of all of the stories besides Van Helsing's story. Now for Arsène Lupin, you've got a lot of Leonhardt comedy. He's like, you know, beautiful gentleman thief, as always. He's not feeling his usual self, though. He's very confused about his feelings towards the protagonist. Again, the question of like, are we official? Are we not official? The holidays are coming. Should I be doing something special? Because especially in Japan, Christmas as lovers is like extremely important. Like, you give gifts, you spend time with the loved one. So he's like, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? He's like, I feel some weird feelings. Is he longing for someone? And then he like admits his true feelings, and it's cute. It's cute. It's very sweet. I did not expect that from Lupin at all. And it was really nice. It was really nice. Like I said, there are triangle dates. They are very cute. So you have the protagonist at the top, and then you have two of either non-playable, non-romanceable characters or love interest characters. So you could have Victor and Impy in one date, which I do because they're my two favorites. Or you could have Impy and Van Helsing in one date, which are kind of my two favorites. I love Helsing too. I don't know what to say, you guys. Impy's my favorite, but Victor and Van Helsing, they're tugging at my heart. But you can also have triangle dates with Watson and Hansel. My dreams are coming true. It was great. I really liked it. Now for the special epilogues. Again, it goes with each love interest minus the brother minus Herlock Sholmes. It's really the 5 main protagonists. So in Impy's, it's like he's overworked, he thinks Cardia left her, and it's hilarity ensues, but at the same time a lot of fluff. For Lupin, it's like honeymoon in Paris. There's the backstory a bit of him, of how he learned to be a thief, and then the thief couple. Oh, it's really cute. For Van, they're getting married, but there's a tradition where people kidnap the wife, and the husband has to get the wife to prove himself worthy of being able to marry her. It's a tradition, I'm not sure where, but it's really fun. But because there was so much issues with Cardia in the past, of her being kidnapped and for the destruction of the world, blah blah blah, Van Helsing is like, oh! He's scared, he thinks it's the government, the queen, whatever. And it's really funny and it's really sweet because it shows how much he's a worrywart and he cares about her. And there's Victor, there's like a wedding ceremony. The Queen Victoria finds them a place to hold the ceremony because they're looking for places and no places have spots for a wedding, and it's the others come to, and it's very sweet, it's very reminiscent. It gives a nice ending to all the side stories. Like, as much as I want more side stories, special epilogues, or things like that, I like how, in the special epilogues, everything is kind of rounded to an end, which is mostly weddings. And I think that's very sweet. That's very cute. So in Saint-Germain's storyline, again, on the trend of weddings, it is also a wedding. But the fun part about it is that the IDEA members that used to work with Saint-Germain and kept an eye on them until then, about like, maybe Cardia, her poison is gonna come back and it's gonna be another end of the world, blah blah blah. They're like, okay, we've watched you long enough, we are leaving you alone. And it's like, best wedding gift ever! Best wedding gift! So all in all, for the character stories / side stories, I give it an 8 out of 10. It was great. Compared to Future Blessings, I liked this one more. I genuinely liked this one more. So before I give the final say on how the grand total of what I think this game is, I forgot to say triggers. To be honest, in this storyline, besides Herlock Sholmes and Cantarella's story, there's not a lot of triggers, to be completely honest. For these two specifically, for Herlock Sholmes and Cantarella's story, there's a bit of blood and gore, betrayal, violence, and rejection, which I'm putting out there. It is there. But besides that, the rest of the storylines are pretty fluff, not a lot of angst. Not gonna lie. And I like it. So now, to go back to what I was saying, the main storyline is a 6 out of 10. The graphics, 10 out of 10. The translation, 5 out of 10. The mechanics, 7 out of 10. And the character story, 8 out of 10. For a grand total of 7.2 out of 10. That means it is 5 out of 10, in my personal opinion. It's worth buying. It's totally worth buying. And even though it has the same grade or same total I gave to Future Blessings, I think this one is worth more. Even though I was very strict and objective in, like, my out of 10s, I think this one's more worth it, to be completely honest. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this review and it kind of helped you decide if it was worth buying or not for you. I am going to do another review next time on another Otome game now that we've finished all 3 of Code Realize. I am going to start for the Collar X Malice. The thing with this is Collar X Malice is going to come out next week, but not Collar X Malice Unlimited because honestly, I haven't played it yet. If there are any games that you would like me to review, just leave it in the comments. I do need to finish the game completely to be able to do a review, or at least 80% completed, if you know what I mean. Because if not, how am I gonna know the story, right? So anyway, I hope that you like this. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you!